Hey, welcome back. History of Design, Session 11. Spring break's over. We're in our final rundown of what's going on. Um, let's just do a little housekeeping to begin. You know about the 16-week time expectations. You know about the grading rubric and checklist. If you ever wanted to double check and be like, how does he grade? That's how I do it. Uh, and then the course checklist. So it is time to register for classes. Double check what's going on in fourth semester. If you've got to take some thirds and some fourths, just double check that we only have a certain amount to offer in the fourth semester. As the classes get smaller, we can only run so many at a time, and that is why. I don't know if you know that there's only 6 students in this class, and they're trying to make sure that a class has at least 12 to run. So make sure you sign up, get in those classes as you need it, and you'll do fall and spring to close out your semester, and make sure you also get all of these done as well. If you have any questions about that, you can contact me. Send me an email, hit me up directly. What should I take? What's going on? If you're unsure, you can work with me on that, and I will help you as much as I can. I don't know anything about financial aid questions, but I can help with everything else. So session 8, I think, goes away on Thursday. I can't check it while this is open, but I left that open a little bit longer for people, as we know how that works, just to make sure we're getting caught up. And then we are now in 11. So I think 8 and 9 will close out on Thursday. So just make sure you're up to date on everything. Session 11, corporate identity and visual systems. What do we always start with? We start with our attendance, and we start our attempt. I think I mentioned this in my other class. They've updated. I think they've updated the look and feel of this a little bit. It's nice. What is a duotone? Oh, a stereographic? No. A line thickness rule? No. A dual screen layout? No. It's an image made using 2 colors. That's very important for Thursday. I am not kidding you. Thursday is going to start a new project for us, which is going to be very exciting. So we are finishing out our brochures, and then we're going to move on and start the new project. So that's going to be very exciting. So that is Tuesday's assignments. We're going to deal with that today. And Thursday, we're jumping on a new one. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can look back. I think the video was fairly brief. Last week, Thursday, it's kind of when we get into that final mode. There's not much for me to say except for let's work together. Send it to me. Let's see what you got going. And it's due Thursday at midnight. Full brochure and then a mock-up. We always just want to see what it might look like in real life. I need the die lines, the mock-up, the whole 9 yards. So that's what is due Thursday. So let's work on, let's review a little bit corporate identity and visual systems. See what we got going on. So this is kind of, this is I like this area. I like it. These are, again, as I always state, these are pieces that I found interesting from the book. It may not be what you find interesting. We all have different interests in graphic design. You have to find out what those are for you and how you work with those. So it's always quite interesting to see what you guys like. I'm doing my piece on Giovanni Pintori at Oliveri. That's what I'm doing mine on. Sorry. I don't know. It's not bad for me to do that voice. So that's what I'm going to do my piece on today. But let's talk. So a typewriter company, became the first global model for corporate design. Giovanni was in charge of this, and he worked there, and he hired designers. What he wanted was the whole look and feel of a company. This was kind of starting in Europe, the AEG, if you remember that from Barron's. This is the continuation, but in America, where they're deciding we're going to make sure that everything, and that's what a lot of this is about. is making sure that everything we do for a company looks and works the same way. And we're going to get to this, and this is very important to know and to understand. And you have graphic designers need to note and understand this as well, is the understanding of a single design premise. So like Giovanni hired top designers to ensure that everything from the architecture to the factories to the shape of the keyboards and the style of the advertisers felt like it belonged to one sophisticated, forward-thinking family. So one person oversaw everything and was like, yes, no, like this goes, this is good, this is bad. And that's how it kind of came apart. Giovanni, early pioneer of the visual system, and we call it like a look, not necessarily a lookbook. It's a brand guidelines. That's what I know it as: corporate identity manual, brand guidelines, whatever. These, they go by different names, but different companies, and these are like the set of rules that a company has about their visual intent, and you need to follow those. And that's what for the students that are in brand and media right now, that's what we're working on. All of these projects, the 3 projects that we do throughout the semester, all based on, you start a brand with a logo, that we start out with a logo, and then we carry that brand through every piece. So every piece looks identical. It looks like one designer did everything, no matter who did it. And you do that as a graphic designer. You will work for another company, you'll work for another client. They will have a look and feel. They will say, like, this is what we want. This, you need to match this, and you just match it. That's the work you do. You match it, and they will approve it and not approve it. That's what I did when I was at my other agency. That's what I did. We would have a client would come in, they would have a style guide. I'd make sure I followed that style guide, but made it work with what we were doing for them. So that's something to get used to. So moving on. And so I'm going to do this. We're going to look at a little bit more of his work. It's very fun. This is it. I love this kind of work. This piece, I think it's more abstract. I was trying to figure out what it is. Some of his other ones, he uses like typewriter parts to make something. They're very cute. I really like it. I love the CBS, the eye of the network. So William Golden designed the famous CBS eye logo. This is the one that I like. This is why I like it. It was one of the first successful examples of a trademark that was so strong it didn't even need the company's name next to it. They just created the eye, and if you took that CBS out of there and filled that in with all black, what do you get? You get just that plain logo. Like, can I do it? Can I draw a circle over that? Yes. Let's do a black circle. Oh, that's the outline. Boo. All right, whatever. I'm not going to sit there and try to do it. I'm not going to waste your time. But you get what I mean. So we know that. And guess what? It's withstood the test of time. It is still their logo. It's still used. And they do so much fun with it. I forget what it's on. But the intro to a lot of the CBS programs, they play with this logo. And I want to say, like, last year they did a very Paul Rand intro. This now it's a little bit different. I don't know how often they change it, but I pay attention to it because it's super cool. It's a little animated version of this logo, and it's still going today. Next up, Paul Rand, the big 3. Paul Rand, Elliot Nose, and Charles Ames teamed up to reinvent IBM. Paul Rand redesigned the IBM logo using stripes, the 8-bar logo, to make the heavy letters look lighter and more modern. Let's take a look at that. I thought I had that pulled up. IBM 8-bar logo. It's not here, but it's right there. And this is the 8-bar logo when we talk about it. So, think of those, if those were filled in, they made it look like this, and that lasted a long time. It's very cool design, very modern and different. All right. Oh no, did I just close that by mistake? All right. So this is where we're coming into, we're getting some powerhouses coming in and doing corporate identities that these are the ones that some of them really, really lasted a long time, and they still are lasting to this day. You have modern designers like Aaron Draplin who do a very bold style logo. Like, I don't want to even call it retro, but sometimes that, like, the simpler it is, the better it is. It just talks, it just speaks to like how complicated does the logo need to be. I know I'm pushing you all when we do these logos for events, and we do logos that group a bunch of things together. They're far more intricate than if you just do a simple corporate logo for one, a business. Like, this is our name, this is what we need. So it's very cool. The corporate identity manual. Now, this is the one. You should start looking at these. Every once in a while, you can find them on the internet, and you just type in a company and be like, corporate identity manual for Google. Google's is out there and open for everybody to see. So that's a good one. And it just walks you through. Don't do this, do this, don't do this. Summerfest, if you're in my brand, they have it. It's just 2 pages. Don't do this with our logo. You can do this with the logo, and you will get not in trouble, but you get it returned to you if you do something wrong with the logo. A big part about graphic design is following the corporate identity manual, because if you don't, the client isn't going to trust you anymore. Like, oh, we gave you this book, we gave you the rule book, but you didn't follow the rule book. So, okay, now we got to work with you. We got to fix your stuff to follow the rule book. And that may be not a good stepping stone. That may be one of those things like, oh, they couldn't follow the basic rule book that we had set out. I don't know if we can use this designer again, because like that's like one of those main things you do. The first thing you do when you work with a company is like, okay, do you have a brand manual? What should I know about your company? What are your colors? What are your fonts? What is everything? And then you move forward. Now we do it, and they do it up in a book, and you can look those up for anything. I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to do one really quick. The problem is now is there's like a lot of people who make like fake ones. And I get into we get wrapped up into that. There's one. This is, let's see. I know this is a true company, but like when we look at it, I typed in I was going to do Vans shoes. Joel always just goes to Vans shoes. Yeah, I do. But this is Vans Aircrafts, and they make home-built aircrafts. Like, you could buy a kit and you can make an airplane in your garage. But this is their guideline. And then it's like, here's the logo, here's, an anatomy of the logo, what they call it. So when you talk to them, they have a horizontal, they have a stacked, without line, and they have it all like full color reverse, and they have it on each of the colors. Whoa, look at this. Don't do any of this. Like, this is so big. Don't skew, don't, like all these things that tell you right away what not to do. So they're going to look at that. And as soon as they see it, they're like, oh, we have a whole page on what not to do, like, don't do it. So, and you go through, and then like orange versus dark orange misuse, like, holy cow, like, oh, funny, I'm going to use Euro style today in my project. So that's that. So it's a big deal, and it's something you have to start to really learn to do, is like conform to what the brand needs for the design. All right, let's go to the next page. Oh, Lester Beal, an international paper. He created a legendary IP logo that looked like a tree. It's just, as they say, it was a master class in reductionism, taking a complex idea, paper company, and turning it into a simple, memorable geometric mark. That's sometimes like this. in this, you know, I don't want to say we should only design in that style, you know, like as simple as possible, only design in this style, like only do like simple marks. But it's sometimes the place to start, or what we want to do is reduce down to this. You know, take the ice cream logo, you know, if you were in that other class, in the brand class, or excuse me, frozen custard, like what can we do to knock that down? Like we do, you know, do very intricate, and it's going to include this, and this, and this, but you can simplify things. What is how do we simplify these to make them a mark? And these are what this is. It's a mark. And the great one about this is it's an I and a P that make a tree. You know, that's what it is. It's a little abstract, but people get it, and it's usable, and you can see it. And you look across these, and how many of these famous logos do we know? With this Peacock, NBC, I don't know, Gray. I recognize this. I don't know what it is. This is Citibank. This is Mobil. This is National Geographic. I don't know this one. I forget about this one. I'm supposed to know this one. Don't know. Showtime. Don't know. PBS. You know, but some of these I just don't mark. This is like Unimark in the Avery paper. You know, like, so that's just something, you know, the way to look at things, how these marks are made. And that goes into this excuse me, system. I like this. There's something, you know, the thought of this, and when you read about this for Mobil, they use a simple sans serif font and turn the O red. This small change made the logo iconic and easy to see from fast-moving car at a gas station. Like, that's what they're thinking about. Like, it's almost like a Target, right? You can see that red circle a mile away and be like, oh, there's a gas station down there. And again, think about this. This is back before we had billboards and we had signage, but we don't have like the crazy signage that we have now. So that's some pretty cool stuff to check out. The 1968 Olympics. All right, so Lance Wyman created the visual system using repeating lines inspired by the folk art of Mexico. He went down there. There's a whole story. This is a whole design revolution that he created for the Olympics. He proved that a design system could help people navigate a massive event even if they didn't speak the local language. So he was the one who started to create the iconography behind the Olympics. Like, oh, let's show images of people doing the item. He did this this repeating pattern. And I want to say this is also like the first and last time they allowed the Olympic rings to be used in such a manner in the design for the logo. I know that seems complicated, but like there's logos for the Olympics, but the Olympic rings are now a separate part of that logo. They can no longer be integrated into the logo itself because the Olympic Committee feels like it pulls too much away from the iconic rings. And there's a whole set of rules now. So I've worked with the Olympics on Olympic sponsorships in the past, and oh my God, there's so many rules. You talk about brand guidelines. There are very strict rules for using the Olympics with a brand partner and how things have to be set up. And it's like, it's one of those, like, it's so crazy that because it's so simple, but it's like, it takes all fun out of it. And it's like, basically like you can have like the rings align and the other logo, but it has to be like on white. So you have to change your designs. Like, it's very restrictive. So it's very funny. So that's a cool one. If you guys ever listen to a podcast called 99% Invisible, they have one on the 68 Olympics. It's totally worth listening to. So I don't know if you guys listen to podcasts. Unimark and the grid obsession. All right, the design firm Unimark, founded by Massimo Vignelli. He is a famous one. You should know who he is. You should know all about him. Massimo is a superstar and changed design at a certain period in the world. He did everything, but he was very strict in Helvetica and the grid. If you worked for him, I believe they joked around in that you could use 2 fonts and you always had to use a grid. So no matter what you did, like no matter who the client was, whatever, like all this stuff, he had all of his rules set up, and they were very, I don't want to say strict, but he's like, you can be creative enough within these guidelines. And so like his company even had guidelines, and you came to him because you knew what you wanted and you got what you asked for in his style. There's a great designer, Michael Beirut, and he worked for Massimo for many years. Michael Beirut's written many books, and I've read and listened to him. And he was like, you know, after a while with this Unimark and Massimo, he's like, once you know it, you knew what to do. And he's like, but there wasn't much more. And so he left and he went on. He's a partner at Pentagram. I think he's still a partner. I don't know if he retired yet. And we finish out with MTV and the flexible logo. By the 1980s, static logo began to change. Pat Gorman and Frank Alinsky designed the MTV M. They broke the rules by allowing the colors and patterns inside the M to change constantly, reflecting the fast-paced energy of music television. So you still had to keep this, right? You still had to keep the standard, the M and the TV, but you could change the color, blah, 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 anything you wanted. And they went crazy with this. And this was like in a time too when technology was changing, you could do things more easily within the digital systems and with, you know, animation and ideas like that. And so it became really big. Tell you one thing, this was drawn on a notebook of mine growing up in when I was in grade school. Like this whole idea too, I think I was always enamored by the 3DM. And man, I would draw this, this would be my boredom, you know, like in class and be drawing the MTV logo all the time. It was always like this. I was always enamored by the TV part, and like they made it look like it was like, you know, very big, bold M and then like the handwritten TV. Like what a great idea. It spoke to me at the time. It spoke to an entire generation. Because it was so different, and because, you know, MTV itself was just a powerhouse back then in what they did. So there you go. Corporate identity and visual systems. That's the big one, visual systems. All right, let's check out what we got to do today. Title, corporate identity and visual systems. We are busting this one out in InDesign. 6.5 by 1.25. Let's see if I can do two in the next kind of like, I'll do 15 and 15. So let's move that over. I think I already forgot. 6 tab 1.25. Oh, 1.25. Single page is a point. Margin is quarter inch, slugs and bleed, create. Let's just double check. I didn't pull my assignment over. Oh, I can open it here. I got another page. What the heck? Oh, this is unsettling. Let's move this over. All right, we got that. No facing pages, margin set at 0.125. Okay, so I have that wrong. Let's go back into this file. Oh, you know what I noticed here? Look at this. I'm going to do this. 0.125 tab. What do you mean? All right, adjust layout. And then bleed 1. Okay. So you can fix everything. I don't know. I just noticed this like today, and I was like doing something else. I was like, oh, I didn't realize how obvious they made it if you don't have any tools open. It's always good to look around. We're gonna pull one vertical and one horizontal. Get that 3. And then sometimes I do this just to help me. You make a box, and if I pull this down, it'll sink in. And there, there's the middle. Like what are you could do whatever you need to do to make this easier on you, if that makes sense. Like I do all sorts of little weird tricks. I use circles to help space things out, and then I just delete the circle. Like there's no right or wrong. And I think I want you guys to know, like, whatever you need to do to get the job done, you can do. And it doesn't matter, like you just do what you got to do. Like, oh, I do this weird thing. It's not weird. You do whatever you want, and it's the way you design. And I'm just here to help you with other tricks and tips. All right, I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to go on my title. I'm going to do this. Oh, it's doing this thing again. There we go. Now, oops. Why did it do that? Okay. And then I want to do my font, change my font to Euro style, because I'm purposely matching something. So I want Euro style condensed, and then I'm going to still make it as big as possible. Oh, look at that. Somehow I double clicked on it. I liked what it did there. Nope. Delete. Oh, I don't know what I did to click to make that box smaller, but I liked it. And now I got to figure that out, how to do that again. No big deal. All right, I won't spend my time now, but that was a pretty cool mistake. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to use the free transform tool. I'm going to make this bigger. And I'm going to go to type, create outlines, because I want to be able to monkey around with this. And I'm going to go to type, I'm going to object. Why is it not letting me ungroup? So we do the workaround. So sometimes, this is one of those ideas, the workaround. Like, I can't get it to grab. Why does it not do it? Instead, I just said, you know what? There's another way I can do this. And it could be the system. It could be a glitch. I do a lot of weird things. I open and close and do this and that. So do what you got to do. So I want this. Oh, I messed up on one thing, because I was hoping if I go to CC libraries, I'm doing these. And I kind of wanted to match one of these, who I'm going after. So I might do a red background and white type. Only 2 colors. But how can we play with this and make it like cool? I like this. Y into the D, hey? Let's do this. Oh, look at that. Look at the way they kind of all join up there. I wonder how that's going to look. It's too tight, right? I can't read that. So that's not going to work. But What about this V? No, can't do it. Don't want to do it. Don't. And I think if I do this, it's going to be too stacked. All right, I don't like that anymore. Or maybe this and just needs to be smaller. You know what the other one I can do? What do I do? Can I do this? Nobody said I couldn't use an ampersand, right? Let's try that. Type. Create outlines. Oh, maybe this is it. So I want that. I want it to be the same width. And if that hangs on that. There. I want to like it more than I do. I don't know if that's what I want. So let's try this. Maybe. All right, I'm going to put in my background. I'm going to change my color. So on my background, I'm going to do something crazy. So I want this to be red. This to be nothing. Always remove stuff that doesn't need to be there. So like if you're like, but nobody will see the black stroke, still take it off. When you get into print terms and printing of stuff, that will then they'll be like, well, we see that you have black, and you're like, there's no black in my design, and they'll be like, no, and they're like, oh, it's that outline on something. Like, always make sure you remove that kind of stuff. So okay, what I want to do is, it is white of the paper is not considered a color. Is that what we decided? So if this is, and I keep that black, but now I want to maybe do this. This is going to be, I can't say if I'm going to like this. I wanted to do something else. I don't know. It's not working, is it? Because the Y and the V are like friends. But what do we do? Do I just do like, oh my God, maybe is that like, do I go just super simple? I gotta go back to this. And there's and then I was thinking of this. So if I flip this, oh, I didn't think I was going to make a copy of it. So what if I try this? And I'm just going to be very subtle with it. I want to X that out. Don't worry, I'm going to use only 2 colors. I'm going to go to Edit, Paste in Place. Oh, cancel. Yeah, make sure I paste. Remember, layers is not on. Edit, Paste in Place. Those should be touching. And then if the red, I can do red and tint it at like 80. And then the black. And I can tint it to like 80. But then I want to take this black because let's see how it looks gray. If I do opacity, normal, multiply, then I have to drop that even more, which is fine. Let's go to 50. There's something weird about it that I like. I don't love it. It'll work. It'll work, right? All right, what's the next thing we got to do? I should spend more time on that. All right, so that's the thing, that one. And then so when we do this, like I said, like I've been saying for the past few weeks, is like, what can we do then now to merge these two? I want the title should maybe look like the lookup part. As we always do, we look this up. You can download that. You can check it out. Dig through it. Like I said, I picked some of my stuff, but I just happen to really like that. But go through it. Find somebody. Oh, Herbert Matter. Like he's another one. Like, oh, huge fan of that. It's the IBM stuff. So take a look through. Find what you need. MIT Press. It's M, an I, a T, and a P. This one always confused me, but I love it. It's so, and they still use it today. That's a crazy one for MIT Press. So yeah, take a look, find out something that sticks out to you, get your little write-up, and we can be on our way. And this one is an Illustrator. And we do a new file, and it's 7x5. Oh, a normal size. And then bleed is 0.25. We hit create, and then we go through our standard rundown of a margin. Pull that. Then we go to 6.5, tab 4.5. No fill, stroke, magenta, 1 point, centered, turn on my ruler, snap a guide, lock that, plus that, bless you, crop marks, do this. Don't forget, make sure it's got nothing on it. 7x5, centered, FX, crop marks, done. And then we do our 3 layers so we can keep our work organized. Title, Oops. Images. Paragraph or body copy. And background. All right, so if I have that red background in the last one, well, what should I do? I'm going to use a red background in this one. So I'm going to just click on there, and I'm going all the way out to the bleed. And again, the fill will be the standard red. The stroke will be nothing. Make sure we turn that stroke off. I don't want that on there. Then we're dealing with typography in white. So the title is going to be going for my little write-up that I got from the Gemini. I didn't want that. I actually don't want that, but so I did this. I did it with the wrong type, but I'm going to do real estate condense heavy. I'm going to make it the size that I want to start. That was too big. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to double click on this little dot right here. This changes it from area type to point type. I want point type, and that way I can scale this. And then I'm going to make this white. And I'm going to make another one. And I'm going to flip it, which you do. You can do it right here. And then I'm going to make that. So I have to do a tint of the red. So for this, instead of the white, white is white. And so if I go to here, if I do red, and I'm going to do plus, I'm going to change it to a spot color. Okay. And then that way, when I do this, I can just simply get that reflection. I did it in the title. Why not do it here? And maybe I'll do the name like in black. Maybe I'll do that. This could be in black. And then I'll do the same treatment I did earlier, but I'll hold off on it. So like they reflect, and I have that in the last one. Let's get my paragraph. Or my paragraphs. Do 2 columns. These are really fun stuff. Paste that in. This isn't, you know what I didn't do is I didn't download all of Eurostyle. Just should have done. So I'm gonna have to change that because I don't want heavy. Well, then I'll bring in my images and maybe I'll finish this up later. I wasn't thinking about the body copy. So then we go back out. And I have 6 images. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm gonna grab all of these. I'm gonna do my simple scale, which is under here. Double click on it, 25, hit return, find out where they went. They went all the way down there. Must have my thing in an odd spot. And then these are my designs. I will let you go at this point, and I will finish this up. Oh, I kind of like the way that's happening. I kind of like the way, like I want it more like a puzzly. They don't all have to be the same size, but if you like work with sizing and spacing, you can do a lot and have a lot of fun. So play around a little bit, have some fun. You know what to do today, and then Thursday at the end of the day, which I'll go over a tiny bit, is your brochure design, the final brochure design, and that should be it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, reach out to me. You know how to reach out to me. I'm here to answer anything. Let me know what's going on. What do you need? And we can work from there. Yeah, so that's it. All right. Welcome back. And I'll talk to you again. If not on the discussion boards, I'll talk to you again on Thursday. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye.